Hi everybody, this is Penny from Wacko-Witch Astrology, and today we are talking about the moon sign and the life path. So I already have a whole series about the moon sign and the emotional processes, the coping, and all of that. So if you want to watch that, I will have a link to the moon and Cancer video for emotions in the description below. There's also lots of other cool links if you want to check those out. And today we are talking about moon in Cancer's life path. So I want to go over some life events that affect their life path and kind of try to help us all understand their perspective a little bit better. Now, this video is as much for me as it is for you, and in a way, it's probably more for me than it is for you because my moon sign is actually Capricorn, which is the opposite of Cancer. So for me, it's kind of extra challenging to understand things from the moon and Cancer perspective. So it's really a goal of mine to kind of dive in and come to a stronger place of compassion and empathy so that I can respect and fully honor and appreciate the actions of people who are my opposite in a lot of ways. So I was reflecting on the moon and Cancers that I've seen, whether it be in pop culture or in my personal life, and just collecting information in my head about, what I actually know about them. And it seems like most of them do have siblings. Some of them grow up in families that are kind of big. Some of them have only one sibling. I personally don't think I know of any lunar Cancers who are only children, but for celebrities that have moon in Cancer, I don't know that much about their personal life anyway, so I can't really say one way or the other. But from a young age, they are taught to value family. To them, family is like everything that they have. And I feel that a lot of them might even grow up in some type of environment where it felt like they were isolated from the rest of their world. Like there was their family over here, like in this bubble, and then the rest of the world was off somewhere else, kind of a mystery, kind of disconnected from that one specific family that they grew up in. So they have their family as this very strong core and foundation for their existence. Now, my moon and Cancer friends that I have, they're people I met in my adulthood. So I didn't grow up with them. I didn't see their childhood firsthand. But what I find interesting is that they have all maintained relationships with their family. Most of them live close to their family members still, maybe not in the exact same city, and maybe there's some family members who moved away over time. But it seems like they don't normally stray like super far from their family and from where they grew up. They have a habit of kind of staying in that same area and staying connected. A lot of them wind up feeling that there were some toxic aspects of their family, some toxic personality traits, and some things that were kind of damaging or hurtful to them. But what is interesting is none of the moon and Cancer people I know have completely 100% cut their family off. I know a lot of moon and Capricorn people and a lot of moon and Scorpio people and maybe even some moon and Sagittarius people who do cut their family off and who do stop communicating with their family. But moon and Cancer people always seem like somehow, whether they consciously want to or not, they always stay connected to their family. And that is because family is a big value for them. When they think of life goals and things that they want to accomplish, I think it all circulates back to having that family unit. Like, I want to do this to make my family proud. I want to do this to provide for my kids. I want to be a part of a family. And that is such a big central thing for them. Another thing that I was analyzing that kind of helped me understand their worldview is for them it seems like everything is very circular. So the people that they meet early on, like for example their family members, a lot of times are people they wind up circling back to later in life. So I would say from like maybe age 4 people with Moon in Cancer probably have a pretty good idea of what they actually want in life. Now, let me know if that was your experience if you have Moon in Cancer. Did you know what you wanted in life at age 4? Because I know this sounds like a really big claim, but I feel like they tend to have a fairly good idea, and they don't have a habit of confidently going after everything that they want. They do have, I would say, a certain degree of patience, maybe a little bit of self-doubt, but more so than it being self-doubt, I feel that it's really that they're humble. They know that they're not entitled to things just because they want them, and they know that they have to let those things come in the right time. They might have to work for them. They might have to prove that they are ready for them. And we're not always ready from day one. Like, I don't know anyone who's honestly ready for, the big things in life right from day one. But since they know that they're not born ready, which is crazy to be born ready, but we have people with those personality traits who just are like those really strong Aries people tend to have that mentality. I was born ready. Moon in Cancer, I would say they usually have the habit of acknowledging that they weren't born ready and letting things come in time, which is why they have a habit of not going directly after things, not charging into danger, not insisting on having things their way, but being more calm and more passive and more indirect about it, and circling back to it at a later date, kind of making a mental note in their head about something they were introduced to in their childhood, whether it's they were introduced to the idea of marriage, finding your soulmate, or the idea of a certain career path, or like a religion or something like that, something they decided they wanted to circle back to, some idea that intrigued them and they felt like it was something they might want in life. Now, like I said, they tend to not go directly after it, but they do circle back to it in good time. So I feel like they kind of honor divine timing, and they really value things that last. That's another thing. They want to see that this thing will still be there for them, and it's not, people who come into your life aren't just going to be fair weather friends. They don't want any of that. They don't want people coming in and out of their life. They don't want things going in and out of their life. They want things that actually last. And because of that, they also have a really hard time not just saying goodbye to family members, but also saying goodbye to friends. So they're a little bit less likely to cut people off in general, but it does also depend on how close you actually were with them. If they noticed something was toxic earlier on, of course it is easier for them to cut a friend off in that first week of friendship than it is after 4 years or so of friendship. But another thing they tend to not really be too happy about is when other people move away from them. So like I said, they have a habit of usually staying close and staying in that specific area, and for them I feel like it can be confusing when you see other people move away. You might wind up wondering if it's because they don't care. Maybe they don't care about you. Maybe they don't care about staying connected to you. Like, why are they moving such a far distance away to a point where you won't even be able to sit and have coffee with them anymore? And Moon in Cancer might have a harder time understanding people like me who have Moon in Capricorn, and people who have Moon in Sagittarius who are willing to make these huge jumps in life. Because for Moon in Cancer, things tend to be more about, a small step to the left, a small step to the right, feeling things out and trying to figure out when it's right, and not straying too far from that starting point, not straying too far from home. And another thing about Moon in Cancer is I think they tend to have a pretty good idea of who they actually are, and where a lot of us differ, whether it be the Moon in Aquarius, Moon in Capricorn, Moon in Sagittarius types, what have you, where a lot of us differ from Moon in Cancer is that we have to go and test things out, and we have to go figure things out. And for Moon in Cancer, I think it's more of the perspective of they feel like they to some extent have to feel other people out, but they do at least already know themselves. So they're not out searching for themselves, trying to find themselves, trying to figure out who they are. They tend to already know and tend to have a pretty good idea of that, but they are looking to see, which things are actually meant for them in life, which people are actually meant for them in life. and their life has a lot to do with nurturing others, sheltering others, protecting others. And they, kind of similar to Moon and Gemini, they tend to have at least two families. But for Moon and Cancer, it tends to be the biological family that they were born into, and then they usually have at least one additional adoptive family that they chose to be a part of, and they might have chosen people to be like their individual family members, and that also is very important to them. And I do think they can be confused and upset if other people don't understand that the way that they do, and don't understand how important family actually is to them. So anyway, I hope that helped you understand Moon and Cancer a little bit better. Leave a comment below telling me about your experiences with Moon and Cancer, and make sure you are subscribed so that you can see my next video. And if you want a reading, go to my website. It's penny-astrology.com. Bye.